What's going on, ghosties? Welcome back to Tales of Spooky Coffee House. If you're new here, welcome to our podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Veronica,
And I'm Chelsea.
and it's time for our much needed coffee break. Chelsea, I do have some questions for you to start us off with.
Been right in, aren't we?
Jumping right in with some fun questions. They're fun, I promise.
Okay.
So, my first question for you and ghosties, feel free to answer these along with her or with us. I don't know if I'll be answering them too, but if there was a museum about you, what would one find in this museum?
Probably going back to last episode, I want to say a room of confessions.
Oh, would you have would you have like a TV screen playing some stuff, or like would you have like written confessions? Like what would it look like?
Ooh, maybe both. So like there could be like a screen with like some of the stuff that I've said on the podcast, like that would be really cool. But then like everything that I've ever said, what the fuck, on the wall, like written down, that'd be fucking cool.
That should be the name of your museum. What the fuck?
Yeah. What would yours be?
I don't know.
Oh wow, you're at your
I
best now.
know what the heck. This is about me, not him,
For once.
for once. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a great question. Um,
Okay, ghosties, you have to leave in comments or messages. What do you think Veronica's museum would be?
I'm sure I'd have like a Day of the Dead like section, maybe like a super like a Chicana section, Mexican section, maybe one of me singing. I don't know. I don't know. What's a movie scene that scarred you?
Besides that baby one that I told you about a couple of episodes ago?
Yeah, give me a new one.
Probably from the first Resident Evil movie.
Hmm.
Have you seen those?
No.
Okay, so there's a scene where there's a laser hallway and everybody is dying or whatever. And then the very last guy, he's like, they're right there. They're about to shut off the code. And he literally gets lasered into little cubes, like right as they turn off the fucking defense setting for the lasers.
Well,
So
that's
then,
not nice.
yeah, so then you just see him like crumble into like a bunch of little bloody cubes. At the time that I watched it, it was pretty scarring. But what about
How old
you?
were you?
Yeah, it came out in like 2002, so I would have been like 7 or something.
Okay, so that's funny because the movie scene that scarred me happened when I was 7 too.
Oh, what movie scarred you? Was
Okay,
it The
don't
Blair
laugh.
Witch?
No, but that
Okay.
movie in general did scar me from like going to the fucking woods, dude. Like fuck that.
Dude,
I
same
mean,
for like the
I'll
longest
go
time.
I'll go into the woods, but you won't catch me camping or anything. Um, I was 6 or 7, and it was my first time at a movie theater, and it's like my first time with like the big speakers, with the loudspeakers, the big screen, and it was the Star Wars movie. I think it Last Hope. I don't know what it's called, and it's the part where Anakin's like getting burned alive. Um, and just imagine a 7-year-old with this big screen with the man burning, yelling, and ugh.
I'm sorry. I tried not to laugh, but I was laughing.
I knew Star Wars wasn't for me. It was too scary.
I mean, yeah, like when we were that age, like that would be traumatizing in a movie theater, but
I
I
just
don't
can't get that scene out of my
know.
head, you know? It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Um, so if you were to wake up to be the last person left on Earth, what would you do?
Kill myself.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, after so long, I'm gonna be bored as fuck. So eventually, that's gonna be like the last thing that I do, I guess. But I grow old alone, you know.
I guess so. What kind of alcoholic beverage are you, and what would I be?
I want to say you're a four loco.
No, I
Yes.
don't want it.
And I would say that I'm a screwdriver.
Okay, because you're screwed up or what?
No, because I can drink alcohol like straight thing, like first thing in the morning, and it has orange juice in it. So,
All right. I don't think I've ever had a screwdriver before.
oh, it's good. I like them better than mimosa. Really like champagne,
Um,
but I'll take the vodka.
you know what? I didn't like mimosas, but then I was pressured into chugging champagne in a train on the way to um what's that place called? The Grand Canyon. And I don't know, I kind of liked it.
All right then. What the fuck?
The more you know. Um, my last question. Would you rather be the smartest or the funniest person in the room?
The funniest. I don't like to be a know-it-all.
I mean, you could be the smartest person in the room and not be a know-it-all, you know? It all depends how you like go about it.
Yeah, no, I'd just rather be the funniest.
Okay, well.
What about you?
Well, I'm already the funniest person in the room, so I guess I'd go with smartest because I'd love to give out like some fun facts. Like, oh my God, did you guys know? And just trip everyone out. Not like a know-it-all in a way, but like in a let me trip everyone out type of shit, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that would be interesting.
Okay, well, thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
So I don't ghosties, for those of you that don't know. I have rejoined the on-site workforce, and so I'm working 40 hours again. Well,
Nor.
I guess this week I'm working like 52. I'm working 7 days, but so I'm exhausted. I'm working third shift, so I am literally sleeping my life away right now. Which is really funny because like the job is really easy. I think the worst part though is just standing around.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've told you, but like the other day I lived 6 hours doing nothing because the lines were down. So I only worked for 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's literally only so much cleaning you can do before like there's nothing else.
Hmm.
But that lack of keeping busy or like having work is literally more draining than actually working. So
No, I feel you on that. If I was standing in one place, like it would suck. But luckily, like in the pharmacy, we're on our feet, and but we're going back and forth with like filling or helping the line, stuff like that. So like we have different things to do. But when we have like our when we rarely have our slow days, it depends who you're working with too, because sometimes you're working with people that you don't mind having a slow day with, and you just chat or
yeah.
do small things, you know. But
And see, that's kind of how it is there too. Like I've already found like the group of people that I like talking to. Like
mhm.
again, like we can only stand around for so long before it's like, come on. Have like 8 people that are trying to take racks to put them away, 8 people cleaning. It's just ridiculous. But so the only thing that I have going on is I'm trying a new coffee creamer.
Ooh, what is it?
So it's really funny. You remember how I told you the cinnamon pop tart one was gross, and
Mhm.
but yet my husband loved it.
Mhm.
So this coffee creamer is cinnamon churro, and it's really funny.
What?
Yeah, because it's the complete opposite where he tried it and literally threw it up, and I love it. I think it's amazing.
Why do they call it cinnamon churro? Churro already has cinnamon on it. They
I don't
should just
know.
call
That's
it
what it
churro
says. It says
creamer.
cinnamon churro. I don't make the fucking words.
When you're trying to fucking do your 500 word count essay.
Right. Right. That's probably what happened there. They're like, you can't just name it churro. Okay, cinnamon churro. So yeah, that's the only thing I have going on. But do you want to get us into the true crime topic of the week?
Heck yeah, I do. Talk about fucked up people. So today I'll be talking about Christa Pike. She was the youngest woman to be put on death row, and I will be telling you what she did to deserve that. So Christa Pike was born March 10th, 1976. She was only 20 years of age when she was convicted of the torture murder of her classmate Colleen Slimmer, which she committed at the age of 18. Pike had an unfortunate upbringing and was a high school dropout. She would later join a Job Corps center where she started dating, I'm gonna say this wrong, Tadaril Ship to Darrell Ship. Together they developed an interest in occult and devil worship.
Oh,
So Krista had become jealous of her classmate, 19-year-old Colleen Slammer, thinking she was trying to steal her boyfriend, to which Colleen would deny these accusations. Pike, along with her friend Shadola Peterson, who was 18, had planned to lure Colleen to an isolated abandoned steam plant near the University of Tennessee, which is where she was attending at this time. Colleen was told they wanted to make peace with her by offering her marijuana. On January 12, 1995, Colleen was attacked by Pike and Shipp while Peterson acted as a lookout. For the next half hour, Colleen was taunted, beaten, and slashed. She was found with a pentagram carved into her chest and her skull smashed by a large chunk of asphalt. Pike would keep a piece of Colleen's skull and would later show it off around the school, which, with no surprise, within 36 hours, Pike was arrested. Yeah, people are dumb.
Yeah. I don't
But
know where I was expecting you to go with this topic, but a cult was not one of them.
yeah, it caught my eye, caught my attention. It's short, but I mean interesting, you know.
Yeah.
But that being said, do you want to go ahead and get us started with the paranormal topic of the week?
Yeah, sure. Um, so
Oh,
mine
yeah,
is
sure.
yeah, sure. Like whatever. So my topic is also short this week. We are traveling to Belfast, Ireland.
Let's
Belfast, Ireland.
go.
And we are going to the HMP Belfast, which is also known as the Crumlin Road Goal. It is a former prison that's situated on Crumlin Road. Since 1996, it is the only remaining Victorian era prison in Northern Ireland standing, and so most people just call it the Crumb.
The crumb.
Yeah, the Crumb. It was designed by Sir Charles Yanyan, and the prison was built between 1843 and 1845. It was built as a replacement for the county gaol, and it was constructed of black basalt rock on 10 acres at the bottom of Crumlin Road. And in October of 1971, members of the International Red Cross were allowed to inspect the prison along with Longkesh Detention Center, and the Red Cross inspectors found 864 prisoners in a building that was intended to house 475.
Wow.
So you can already imagine like the overcrowding already. And
Yeah.
so the first 106 inmates who were forced to walk from Carrickfergus prison in chains arrived in 1846. These inmates, who were men, women, and children, completed the changeover of the two prisons. Children from impoverished working class families, they were often imprisoned for things like stealing food and clothing.
Hmm.
And one of these prisoners included 13-year-old Patrick McGee, who had been sentenced to 3 months in prison and ended up hanging himself in his cell in 1858. Women inmates were also kept in the prison until the early 1900s. There's like a few that were in there, like Dorothy Evans and Madge Murr, who are obviously like popular, over there, but they were there in like 1914. So there were still women like being in and out, but not as often after the 1900s, the early 1900s, I should say.
Mm.
When it was originally designed, the prison didn't contain a gallows. The executions were carried out in public view until 1901, when an execution chamber was finally constructed within the prison. And it was used until the last of the hangings in 1961. So there were 17 prisoners that were executed in the prison, and they would live in a cell large enough for two guards to live in as well. So it was them and two guards. And the bodies of the executed were buried inside of the prison against the back wall besides the prison hospital. Despite being known as Europe's Alcatraz, there were a number of successful escape attempts, and the first recorded escape was in 1866, and in May of 1941, five of Irish Republican prisoners escaped over the Wall of Freedom. And during the troubles of the 19th, Irish Republican Martin Meehan and several other members of the Irish Republican Army successfully escaped as well. So after this, the Crumb closed its doors as a prison in 1996, and it sat empty for many years until a restoration project was announced in August of 2010. So it's really not that long ago that they started
Hmm.
doing this. And in November of 2012, the prison opened as a tourist attraction and conference center. Can you believe that? A conference center. And it also hosts concerts. So the museum was also visited by Queen Elizabeth II in 2014, and I just like this whole thing was just like crazy. Like it was visited by Queen Elizabeth, it hosts concerts, it's a conference center.
I'd go to a concert there.
I would too. I totally would. So, despite all this, the Crumb has a reputation for being a very paranormally active location, and there are guided ghost walks and paranormal investigations that happen there quite often. So, who haunts this prison? We can probably assume that the 15 out of 17 people who were executed and are still within the prison are probably some of them. But some of the things that people have seen, they report sightings of apparitions and hearing strange sounds. Doors are heard slamming themselves, and voices of prisoners can still be heard screaming out for help. There's a man who reportedly walks down the sea wing and then disappears, and there's a figure who has been seen since the prison was active in the tunnels that connect the prison and the courthouse underground. One of the most haunted areas is the B wing, which houses the padded cell, and many people have reported being touched and even pushed while inside the cell, and that they are also overcome by unease at the dark figure in the corner. The B
Mm.
wing is also notorious for the sounds of a former prison warden who can still be heard walking up and down the wing trying to fulfill his duties. And lastly is where most of the doors are reported slamming on their own, but also that objects get thrown across the room or just simply vanish. And so many of the ghosts in this particular wing are more than happy to let you know that they're still there.
I feel like if I were to go there to like investigate or whatever, or just in general, it wouldn't be the apparitions or even the door slamming that would scare me. Of course, I'd get scared that like there's other actual people there,
Mhm.
because I feel like people are scarier than like ghosts. But what is haunting is hearing people like yell, like hearing voices
Yeah.
yelling, and that's that creeps me out.
Especially when it's just like when they're screaming for help.
Yeah, yeah,
Like that's
it obviously, I mean, ghosties, you've heard Chelsea and I mention that one or the other is telling a story or going over a segment. We picture everything that the other person is
Mhm.
saying. And so like I'm picturing it and like the door slamming, I'm like, oh, I'd be so like, oh, cool, what was that? But then you mentioned the voices and I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
no, thank
that's
you.
yeah. Because like I guess it's probably because like we can see the door slamming, but we can't see the voices, and that just makes it like our imagination just go 10 times worse.
Yeah, but I think that's like also like solid proof right there, like,
Yeah. But yep, that's my topic, the Crumlin Road Goal.
well done. So moving on, ghosties, I know you guys are used to Chelsea. I mean, I'm used to it too, doing the tarot card reading at the end of the episode. But lucky me, I will be doing the tarot card reading today for the month ahead for May. I'm really excited because the cards that I pulled out fits very well with, the hotter days coming in, summer, type of vibes.
Oh boy.
So this reading consists of 3 cards. Card 1 will be main developmental theme in the month ahead. Card number 2 is best mental attitude to cultivate. And card 3 is action advice. So, card number 1, main developmental theme in the month ahead, we got the sun. The sun represents positive vibes, warmth, and radiance.
Oh wow, you weren't kidding.
No, I wasn't. So I think it's time to have some fun, get the bikinis out. If you're near the beach, head to the beach. If you are where Chelsea is, you go to where do you go?
We go to the lake, but you might
Yeah.
want to because we just had like a frost alert yesterday, so we're still transitioning because we get actual spring first before we get summer.
Yeah, no, we go straight into summer.
Yeah.
Spring, who? That's
Yeah,
why I
we
was kind of hesitant when I was starting. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be summer, but it's like, well, technically it's spring, but
Yeah, that's the one thing about the Midwest is we get all 4 seasons instead of just straight winter or summer, no in between.
yeah.
I kind of like it though. I just don't care for spring. Like I wouldn't mind jumping straight from winter to summer, but the fall, we don't get like a big fall
Oh,
in California.
no, but when we
And
do, ugh.
yeah, and we get a fall here every year and I'm like, yes. Like I can live in fall like all year round.
I do. I do love fall. It's the best. I mean, I love
Mhm.
winter, don't get me wrong, I really do. But fall, I mean, it's breezy, it's cold, the sun's out, so you get that warmth. Well, it'll
Yeah,
be fall before we know it. It's already gonna be May.
I know. This year is
All
going
right.
so fast.
Card number 2, best mental attitude to cultivate. So for this one, I actually got 2 cards. I
Uh-oh.
got the Empress and 5 of Swords reversed.
Did these just like fall out?
It didn't fall out. They kind of just like stabbed me in the arm, and I was like, "All right, you heard me, right? I was picking up the cards,
Yeah.
and I was like, "All right, okay, like
Yeah, I did hear you
say
say
less."
that, but I was like, "I'll just ask her in the podcast. I won't say
Yeah,
nothing
no,
now."
I got attacked. Um, so the Empress represents a nurturing soul who cares deeply about the people around her, and we should take after her loving vibes and support the people who are in our lives. So, pretty much what the Empress card is saying is not only should we embrace the people around us, but we should also take care of ourselves, have some self care, go get your nails done, go get your hair cut, go for a drive, whatever you find, wherever you find peace and wherever you find happiness, do it.
So, like me
This is
going
the
to a
month
concert
to
this
start doing.
weekend.
Exactly. This is the month where we could just start focusing on ourselves and start socializing a little bit more. So, like I said, we also got Five of Swords reverse, which is telling us to forgive and forget and to amend. So, there may be some conflicts that we're hanging on to that's causing us unnecessary stress and anxiety. So, it's time to leave the drama behind. It's time to leave all that crap behind and focus on ourselves and our loved ones. What do you say, Chelsea?
I feel like the self-care is into that because if there's a lot of unnecessary stress and anxiety, maybe that self-care is gonna help relieve it.
I love this one. Okay. So card 3 is action advice, which we got 10 of swords reverse. Now, I am actually going to read the actual meaning of this card from my guidebook specifically for this deck, simply because I was reading over it and I don't know, I just feel like the whole thing should be heard. So bear with me and my horrible reading skills. So, dramatic events led you to strongly reevaluate all areas of your life. You're letting go of what does not serve you anymore, purging all the excess baggage so that you can begin a new cycle. Wise from your life experiences. Old beliefs no longer resonate with you, and you are shifting your perspective. Avoiding changes to avoid pain just prolongs the inevitable. Personal transformation requires that you let go of something old so that you can make room for something new. Constant thought, chatter about worst case scenarios has you worrying about the future, paralyzing you from living in the present. Take inventory of thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes and clearly label the ones you want to keep and the ones you want to throw away. Allow your awareness to help you grow from your experiences. So I just love how this all kind of just comes together.
Yeah, and I really feel like this reading is calling me out a little bit, but
Yeah,
like
you
in
know,
a good way.
when I was pulling the cards, I was like, okay, listen, I don't do this often. The reading is not for me. It's a general reading, so don't be attacking me. But yeah,
But
I
yeah,
mean, I think it's very clear on what we should expect and what we should consider doing in the month ahead of May.
yeah, because like a lot of the things that you were telling me just kind of like fits into what I was telling you before we started recording, and so
Hmm. That's why when you were talking to me about some of that stuff while I was doing the reading, I was like, huh, all right,
maybe you focused on me instead of you, or instead of in
maybe.
general. That's funny.
Um,
But like I
so
said, it
let's
wasn't like in a bad way. It was in a like
no,
chill way. So
in a chill way where it's like, all right, let me focus on myself. Let me get rid of some stuff that I shouldn't be focusing on anymore so I can move forward and begin a new chapter, you know?
hmm. And that also plays in with the I was telling you that I'm getting ready to start purging a bunch of stuff in my house. So I feel like
Hmm.
that's like the physical aspect instead of
Spring cleaning, people,
yeah,
spring
spring
cleaning.
cleaning is so important.
And it's not just like things, it's people. If you have people in your life that are just like not
Now is the
supposed to be in your
time.
life, now is the time to let them go. It, you know what? And I read something on Instagram right now where it said making the right, it's okay to be sad when you make the right choice.
Mhm.
So let
Sometimes.
that sink in. That we're here for you, ghosties. We are here for you. We're gonna go
Yes.
through this together. So that's our episode for today. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining us this week. And like I said, we hope you had as much fun as we did. If so, give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure you go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Expect some more content coming up within the next few weeks. And if you're interested in a tarot card reading, please DM us and we will choose one lucky person a week. We are your hosts. I'm Veronica.
And I'm Chelsea.
Have a spooky weekend. We'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.